we should do what we feel is best. If we're creative, or if you want to go work a 9 to 5, fuck it, I don't know, but just don't substitute your passions with drugs, because that's just gonna fucking lead to downfall in the end, you know?
All right, Kage.
What's up?
Kage, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I was originally born in St. Mary's in Athens, Georgia. Yeah. And from there till about 16 years old, I lived there, and I moved from in and out of the counties of Madison County, Athens, and Atlanta. Yeah.
What was your family like growing up?
It was very, very toxic. I mean, I kind of grew up in the midst of my biological family and my adoptive family. My adoptive family was just single mom, single child, which was my great aunt, Tammy, and my biological family. They set me up for adoption at a pretty late age, but I kind of still grew up with them back and forth. My brother pretty much raised me until I was adopted, Nathan. And yeah, like when I finally got adopted, I went from being very poor to like having everything I wanted. So that led to me kind of taking everything for granted, you know. So yeah, my life, I wouldn't say it's the most hectic, but I can definitely relate to people who have been adopted. It's a really weird feeling. I kind of didn't know if all the trauma that me and my adoptive mom had been through, who I call mom now, I don't even talk to my biological mom, which normally happens to kids who are adopted. I consider the trauma because I'm not her actual son. She actually couldn't have children, which is a lot of the times a big case in adoption. And she's always been a single mother. And I've always been technically a single child because my brother left when I was about 14 with my mom, my real mom. So, yeah.
How would you describe your childhood in general?
Fuck, man. Pretty fucked up. I mean, it wasn't the best, you know, like a lot of trauma, a lot of seeing drugs. I started out on Vyvanse at 6 years old because I was going to be technically put in a special ed class because of my ADHD. That's what they labeled it, of course. But of course, I was just a child, you know. Like I had my own way of fucking handling things and acting as a kid, you know. So they always try to label you like that in school. Yeah, but growing up, my mom was a heroin addict. So I see where that comes from.
This is your biological mom?
Yeah. She was just a addict in general. My mom was I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. My mom was a stripper. My dad was a bouncer. Like, that's how they met. And they split up before I was even born. So, and I saw my dad 2 times in my life. I saw him at 13 and 16. 13, he came all the way to Georgia out of buttfuck nowhere because my great aunt, my mom, my adopted mom yelled at me who my dad was because I kept begging her to tell me who he was. And so I looked him up on Facebook, and he came all the way from Louisiana, which was where half of my biological family on his side is. And yeah, he came all the way from over there, picked me up. We went to see my actual uncle, who I knew really well from my mom's side in Texas. Smoked weed the whole way at 13 years old. And then went to Louisiana and met my biological family, and they all smoke weed. So they're not really huge drug addicts. They're more like Cajuns, like hippie. But my mom's side is like mostly heroin, rocker, like tatted up, you know, musician. My uncle was a musician. My mom's a musician. So I kind of like developed that as well, like the kind of like sad punk rock musician attribute, you know? Yeah.
And you got into music yourself?
Yeah, actually I do. I produced my first song by myself at 17. I was really into like scream rap, scream rock, gothic. I've always kind of had like a gothic touch to myself. I don't really like to label it as that, but that's what everybody calls it. I've just kind of always been like on the darker side, you know, like not in a cringy way. I hate that shit, but...
Did you have any success at all?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've created some music with some big people on Apple, and I was signed to Vidya, a production company. It was they operate as a label, but I never wanted to be with a label, so I wanted to be independent so I could get 100% of my royalties. But I had a song with YB and Namir. It's out on Apple. It's called Peach Crush, and I made a song with Lil Uzi Vert that I met through. I mean, that I had a connection through YB and Namir to meet him to make a song, and I was gonna further on with Trippie Redd, and this was recently that song before me and my ex broke up, and I kind of fell off again a little bit. But I'm picking back up, and I'm trying to get sober again soon, so I can go back and do the same thing. But yeah, the Lil Uzi song never got released, but it's still planning on getting released, and it's gonna be a banger when it does. But yeah, man, I've performed in front of crowds of people from Athens to Hollywood. I know a lot of people. I'm sure, like, if you post this, a bunch of people might know me. I don't know. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I try to be as genuine as possible. So
Cool. And when did drugs kick in for you?
I would say drugs, like, started taking a hold of me. Well, when I started taking Vyvanse at 6, of course, it developed that addictive personality. That's not the smartest decision to do, is just shove your kid on a medication to get the teachers to shut up and make them look normal, you know? But I really started, like, developing bad habits with drugs when I was around, like, 14, 15 with weed. Fuck the weed, jumped to coke at fucking 15, 16. Because of one of my exes that I was really toxic with. My best friend died in front of me at 16 years old, and I hung out with him since 2nd grade.
How did that happen?
He had taken a Xanax that was, like, laced, and it had, I'm pretty sure it had, like, heroin or something. It was like, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the autopsy, but he had died on the couch that we had downstairs, and he had a twin brother as well, so it was, like, really fucked up. But yeah, so his name was Jake, and I hung out with him every day pretty much. It was like my brother, like the only friend that I truly trusted, truly had. Yeah, he took in a Xanax. It was laced with some other shit. He hadn't had a drug tolerance to that shit, and he died. Yeah, he died on our couch, and I went upstairs before it had happened, and so did his girlfriend, because we were living in his apartment. He was a lot older than me. He was about, like, 4 or 5 years older than me, but he was like a big brother. So, and yeah, we were in his apartment, and yeah, his girlfriend went into his room. I went into my room because I stayed with him at the time. I kind of was, like, rebelling from my mom. Left the house at 16, you know, like, was just like, fuck it. So. And we came downstairs the next morning. He was playing video games. That's why he stayed on the couch. And he was, like, purple. I mean, not purple. He was, like, cold and white at that point. Like, it was just over, you know? And I tried waking him up and shit, and he didn't wake up. But, yeah, that severely fucked me up. And I started diving a lot more into heroin then. And by 17, I was a full-blown heroin addict. Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 24, so yeah.
And you're still using?
Yeah, I'm using fentanyl at the moment. I had a year and a half about almost 4 months ago now, when me and my girlfriend broke up. I keep saying 3 months, but it's just, like, repetitive in my mind, 3 months, because at 3 months, that's, like, when I really just started fucking, like, hating everything. But yeah, no, it's been almost 4 months now since me and my girlfriend broke up, and this was, like, I thought was my soulmate, and we were together for a really long time, and it ended really fucking badly. I've been through everything you can think of, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to brag. It's not cool. Like, drug addiction isn't cool. People idolize artists and all this shit that make drug use seem cool, but all it does is just ruin everything in your life. And I just never listened. I fucking did everything that I wanted to do instead of listen, you know? And, like, even listening can be bad in a sense, because you're going to be directed in one way. Everybody's different, you know? We should do what we feel is best. If we're creative, or if you want to go work a 9 to 5, fuck it, I don't know, but just don't substitute your passions with drugs, because that's just going to fucking lead to downfall in the end, you know? So.
And where are you living now?
Right now I live with my buddy Tony in Hollywood. I was homeless when me and my girlfriend broke up. She put me out on the streets. I had relapsed again, and I don't know, I felt like she was kind of fed up with me. We were arguing nonstop, just like most of my relationships that I've had, which has been a lot. Yeah, she like really fucked me up. She was treating me like shit. She would abuse me, got me locked up for saying that I abused her, and I didn't fucking abuse her. And the police just railroad me a lot. Like, it's stupid. I did do a lot of wrong in that scenario, but I did not lay my hands on her. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, because somebody has to get arrested in a domestic case, and the screaming, crying girl isn't that. But no offense to women. I mean, there is a lot of cases where they do get beat, and I'm sorry. Like, that's fucked up. But yeah. What was the question again?
That's all right. So
I live with my buddy Tony. Yeah. Sorry.
How are you making money now?
Right now, I kind of like was selling drugs again whenever I left her to support my drug habit and be near the drugs, in MacArthur Park. It's like one of the fucking worst places in the world. Don't go there. It's not a good place.
If you want to be surrounded by drug addicts.
Yeah, you want to be surrounded by drug addicts and people that act like zombies all the time. I've always handled drugs differently than other people, though. Like, I've never OD'd off fentanyl. I don't know why.
You've never OD'd?
Yeah, a lot of people say that and just brag about it like it's a cool thing, but I honestly think it's fucked up because it doesn't help me teach my lesson as much, But, dude, the withdrawal shit is so fucking bad. That's what everybody's scared of. That's why they don't quit. It's not even the fact that they want more and more of it. A lot of people just do this drug to stay well. That's why it's not fucking fun. Like,
tell me about the withdrawals.
The withdrawals are fucking insane for me, dude, because, like I said, I don't OD. I have never OD'd. I don't know if it's because I was smart or I just can't. I don't know. But I'm knock on wood hoping that I don't. But I build my tolerance up so much because of that. Like, I'm not afraid. I know I'm not going to die, so I just smoke more and more. I smoke up to 3 grams a day now, and I know it's going to be hell when I quit because I've done this before, and it's fucking hard, man. Like, it's think about having the flu, but 100 times worse, but also, like, being awake for all of it. You can't sleep no matter what medicine you take. You're not going to knock out unless you take fucking a shit ton of Xanax, which you don't want to do in withdrawal, because that's just substituting it with another thing, but you're still going to be in pain. I mean, and it lasts for a long time. It's worse than heroin, but it's shorter than heroin. I've came off methadone and heroin before in jail too, and that was honestly worse than fentanyl, but yeah, methadone takes a long time to get over. But yeah, fentanyl, dude, it's just so serious. And like, you can go into precipitated withdrawals when you take Subutex too quickly. Well, while in withdrawal, like your opiate blockers get attacked by the Subutex. And it's like 10 times worth the normal withdrawal. And like, I do that every time because I'm hurting so bad that I just want to feel better, that I try to take a Subutex thinking that it's time, and I can. And it's just pretty much a fucking plan to fail. You're supposed to wait 48 to 72 hours. Even at 48 hours, I'll take a sub and I'll just go straight into precip, man. And like, that is the worst thing in the world. You can actually die in precipitated withdrawal. It's the only way to die off withdrawal of any opiate is being in precip. Heroin has that too. And you pretty much throw up. You can shit yourself. It's like just throwing up bile. Like, you can't even throw up anymore. You're just fucking like gasping, So it's really bad. It's like the flu. But the feeling of fentanyl is what makes everybody go back to it, because the cravings and the urges are so overwhelming. Like, it's like the first time you had a baby blanket, like, like the feeling of being cradled by your mom when you were a kid, like her waking up to make you chocolate milk at 3 in the fucking morning,
So there are still positive feelings from it.
Yeah, of course. Like, everybody's like, oh, it's the most horrible thing in the world. Yeah, and sometimes I do just do it to get well, because it just depends on how my tolerance level is. But they just keep making the shit so much stronger and stronger and stronger that we just nod out and escape, And I feel like that's the feeling that everybody wants, is just to escape. And like, that just sounds so simplistic, but it's not simplistic, because escaping and knocking out and like having that opiate feeling a little bit is just like what everybody wants. They just want to leave, So.
And you're trying to leave your traumatic childhood, or
exactly, yeah. Like, there's
not being loved as a kid or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's so many things I can't even put into context about how fucked up my childhood was, but. I mean, I even with my adopted mom, I had everything I wanted, but it was just so toxic. Like, it was back and forth between me and her. She yelled at me constantly. She did the best she could, though, and I love her more than anything. I talk to her every day still. But she has problems too. I'm not her actual child, and I feel like that's a resentment against me. And I know that's fucked up to say, but it is true, you know? Like, she always wanted her own child, and I couldn't provide that for her, but I tried my best that I could. But I had fucking problems too. Like, I was raised in a fucked up home, you know? So me and her just clashed our whole life, screamed at each other, fought. Yeah, so, yeah, and I've been bullied a lot in high school. Like, I don't even consider that a trauma anymore. Everybody just fucking bullies each other nowadays. It's so stupid. Honestly, that needs to fucking change. And, like, just, like, the discretion, I mean, just, like, fuck, what's it called? Just, like, the difference between people, and, like, people always, like, counteract that. They always want to put the blame on somebody because they're in the spotlight, or they're doing good, or they want to see each other, they want to see that person down because they're doing better than them, or just anything. Being an artist, I've dealt with a lot of that, you know. So
Where do you think you'll be in 5 years?
Hopefully not dead. But you know, I can't really tell the future, but I want to be sober. I was sober for a year, and that was the most amazing thing I've ever felt in my life. Way better than doing fentanyl. If you just give yourself a chance, I promise you it will feel a lot better. Give yourself at least a year. Like,
what made you go back?
Me and my girlfriend breaking up again.
That's
yeah,
hard.
Teresa. Yeah, she was honestly, I thought, was the love of my life, and the way she treated me in the end was just so fucking horrible. Like, just acted like I was nothing. After she did everything she could to get me, in the beginning, she changed her personality. She told me that I helped her see herself again. Like, I taught her who her real self was, not how to care about what other superficial friends think about her, and like all type of shit, like how to be an authentic person, you know? And that's just something I've always been. I've always tried to be real, you know? Not giving a fuck what people think. Sometimes it can be a bad thing because I do speak how I feel pretty prominently, you know? But yeah, so that happened, and she didn't have a good childhood herself, you know? So yeah, it really fucked me up in the end. As deep toxic relationships go, it's the best highs but the lowest lows, you know?
What are you afraid of? What do you worry about?
For me, it's not even withdrawal. Like, I'm afraid of it, not as much as I've withdrawed off fentanyl and this shit, like, probably 50 times. I've been to probably 40 different rehabs in my life.
You have?
Doing the rehab hop, the rehab scheme, the body brokering, the getting paid for sending clients, all that dumb shit, you know, like, it's fast money, it's good money, but it just leads people in a cycle of addiction too. It's just more and more and more of a way to use and get drugs faster and quicker. But what was the question again? I'm so sorry.
No, just what are you afraid of? What do you worry about?
I'm truly just afraid of my mom dying before my adoptive mom, before I get sober. She's getting older and her health is like not becoming as well as it used to be, and I'm really afraid of court and going to prison, you know, because I have charges that I'm eventually going to be facing, and I just want to push it off and just forget about it like it never happened. But the shit happened, you know, like, and some of them weren't really, genuinely were not my fault, and like, I'm just gonna have to face it. I know how the legal system is, whether it's fucked up or not, I'm gonna have to face it, but I'd rather have to do it sober, you know. And I'm also really just afraid of myself. I still don't know who I am, and honestly, in this past couple months from the breakup, me relapsing, I've actually been alone for the first time in my life, you know? I actually had to go in the streets by myself. My mom's in Georgia. I'm out here by myself, you know, in California. I came out here for the treatment and the fun and the glamour and all that. You either come out to Hollywood and you make it, or you fucking are poor. And there's no middle class out here, like, but I fucking, yeah, I just, like, I'm really just afraid of not being able to be who I truly am meant to be. Like, you know, fulfill my destiny. Cliche fucking sentence, you know?
Do you have any regrets in your life?
Yeah, of course. I feel like if you don't have regrets, you're not a fucking good person, dude. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, I mean, I'm sure, like, as you get older, you can handle your regrets and be like, damn, well, I don't regret that because it led me to be who I am. But, dude, honestly, if I wish I never made the decision to do this to that person, they wouldn't be fucking that way, you know? Whether it taught me to be myself or not, I still regret it. One of my biggest regrets is like treating my mom how I did when I was younger after she adopted me, and because I had so much hate in my heart and just like really picking up drugs over and over again and not listening to her, you know.
Your biological mom?
You're not my adopted mom.
Your adopted mom.
Yeah, because she really tried everything.
Let me ask you one last question.
For
Kage.
sure.
What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Do what I feel like the most important lesson that I've learned is like follow your passions. Don't let drugs get in the way of anything, man. Like just don't do them, dude. Like, and really just care about people. Try to be as genuine and authentic as you can, and like help the kids in the future, man, because they're gonna be the ones that change the other kids' futures in their life, you know. And really just, you know, like care about your family, man, because time goes by so quick and you never know when you'll lose somebody. The last thing I want to say before anyone that I love passes away is that I hate them, you know. Like that's a real thing, bro. It doesn't matter how dramatic it sounds, like it's true. You can lose anybody in any instant. So just take life seriously. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Just keep your head up and try. Like, I promise you got this no matter what position you're in. I can relate, you know?
All right, Kage. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you as well. I appreciate you a lot.
Hope you get clean, man.
Oh, yeah, I will.
When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.